Hello, everybody, and welcome back. In today's lesson, we're going to talk about the differences between the present simple and the present continuous. So at the end of today's lesson, you will be able to talk about your daily routines, habits, and hobbies, long-term situations, and temporary situations, as well as know when to use the ing form of verbs and the infinitive form of verbs. So let's talk about the present simple first, and let's just discuss the structure briefly. So the present simple is formed by using either the infinitive form of the verb, which is also known as the root form, without the word to. So if you think of the verb to drive, right, then we're just going to say I, you, we, or they drive. Okay, I drive, you drive, they drive, we drive. Okay, so it's the infinitive form of the verb to drive, but without the word to. Then if we have what we call the third person singular, so he, she, or it, then you add an S at the end. So he, she, or it drives with an S. The uses of the present simple. So we use the present simple to describe our daily activities, habits, routines, and hobbies. Facts, long-term or unchanging situations, and general truths. So if we look at habits and routines, I drive to work every day. Okay, I do that every single day. That's my routine. Okay, I'm not doing it right now, but that's what I do every day. Every day I drive to work. She visits her family every Christmas. So every Christmas, this is her routine. Okay, every Christmas she visits her family. Not just this Christmas, but every Christmas, this is what she does over and over and over. I always check my phone when I wake up in the morning. This is a habit, okay? Every morning when I wake up, first thing I do, I check my phone, okay? So we're communicating that we do this every morning, okay? Over and over and over. I always check my phone when I wake up in the morning. My mom sends me random emails all the time, okay? So my mom, that's a third person, that's a she, right? So she sends. My mom sends me random emails all the time. So this is something she does all the time, over and over and over. Her husband always makes me breakfast. Okay, her husband, again, a third person, he. So he always makes breakfast. So this is a routine. This is something he does all the time, right? So we use the present simple to say her husband always makes breakfast. All right, if we look at permanent situations, we have something like I live in London, all right? It's not temporary. It's not just a short-term thing. It's permanent. It's long-term. I live in London. That's where I live, and I don't plan to move anytime soon. I work at a bank. Again, permanent. I don't plan to change my job anytime soon. Hopefully nobody is going to fire me. So when I tell people this, friends or people that I just meet, when I say I work at a bank, I'm communicating that it's something that's permanent. I shop at the local market. Okay, this is kind of like a routine or a habit, right? It's something that I do over and over repeatedly. But if I say this, I'm communicating that this is where I shop. It's not likely to change. It's a permanent situation. I use a MacBook Pro as my main computer. Again, I'm saying I don't plan to change anytime soon. This is permanent, okay? I use a MacBook Pro as my main computer, and that's the way that it's going to be. He handles all of the bills for our family. So this is what he does, right? It's a permanent situation. We're not discussing it. We're not changing it anytime soon. He handles all of the bills for our family. She teaches economics at a university. So when we say she teaches, and this is one of those examples here where we have to add an ES. Sometimes on certain verbs, we have to add ES instead of just an S, but you'll see that in those irregulars. Whenever we say she teaches economics at a university, we're communicating that this is permanent. It's not like a temporary assignment or something like that. This is permanent. It's a long-term job for her. They always charge higher prices than the other store. So this is a permanent situation. Again, it kind of sounds like a routine because it's something they always do, but this is more like this is just a permanent situation. This is always how it is. This store is always more expensive than the other store. They always charge higher prices than the other store. Not going to change anytime soon. All right, so let's have a look at adverbs of frequency. Adverbs of frequency are frequently used with the present simple. We're looking at adverbs like always, often, sometimes, usually, hardly, ever, and never. Adverbs of frequency are used before the main verb, but after be verbs. So if we look at some examples, she always leaves large tips. Okay, she always does this. His comments are always negative. So here we have a be verb, are, which is a be verb, a form of the verb to be, right? And so here we put the adverb of frequency after the be verb. So in the first one, we didn't have a be verb. We just had the main verb, which is leave, right? So we said she always leaves large tips. But for the second one, we said his comments are always negative because it was a be verb. So expressions of frequency, such as every day or every week, in the mornings or in the evenings, once a week, once a year, on Mondays, these types of frequencies go at the end of the sentence most commonly. So, for example, we go skiing in Switzerland once a year. So most commonly, that expression of frequency should go at the end of the sentence. You can also put it at the beginning of the sentence if you really want to stress it, make it seem more important. But normally we want to put it at the end of the sentence. So if we look at the structure now of the present continuous, the present continuous is formed by using the conjugated be verb along with the infinitive form of the main verb without to, and then adding ing. So for example, I am driving to the office now. Okay, so am is the conjugated be verb, right? So it's the to be form for I am. And then driving, we take the infinitive form to drive, okay? And then we drop the E and add ing. So we say, I am driving to the office now. So again, the structure, you have the subject plus the conjugated form of the be verb, so am, is, or are, plus the root form of the verb, plus ing. Okay, so we have I am thinking, you, they, or we are thinking, and then he, she, or it is thinking. So for the present continuous, which is also known as the present progressive, we're going to use it for a few different situations. The first one is temporary or ongoing situations. So you heard me a lot in the previous slides when we talked about the present simple. I was saying that everything in those was permanent. It's long term, right? But in the present continuous, it's the opposite. We're talking about things that are temporary or ongoing or happening right at this moment, okay? So actions that are happening right now, that are in progress right now, we're going to use the present continuous to communicate that to people, to communicate that it's in progress right now. And then we can also use it for actions happening in the near future. So something that is going to happen soon, right, in the very near future, we can also use the present continuous. Okay, so for things happening now or around the time of speaking. So this would be something like, he is looking for his laptop. So if you see somebody, walking around the living room and you say, hey, what's he doing? What's he looking for? Oh, he's looking for his laptop. Ah, okay, I get it. That's what he's doing right now, right this moment. Sally is telling a story. She's doing it right now, okay, right this moment. I am finishing my coffee, then I'll be right there. So they come to you, they say, hey, Sally's telling a story. You should come listen. And you say, okay, I'm finishing my coffee, then I'll be right there. Right this moment, I'm finishing my coffee. It's still in progress. I have not finished my coffee yet. But once I do finish it, I will come. We are eating lunch at the deli. Somebody calls you, you answer, hey, what's up? Hey, what are you doing? Oh, I am eating lunch at the deli. We are eating lunch at the deli. That's what you're doing right now, right this moment. Okay, so for temporary situations, the first one we're looking at is we are experiencing a rough patch in our marriage. So we say are experiencing because we hope that it's temporary, right? We don't hope that it's a long term situation that we will experience this forever. We just hope that it's short term, temporary. Right now, we are having this problem. So we are experiencing a rough patch in our marriage right now or recently. My company is hiring more staff for the holiday season. So the holiday season is coming up. It's going to be a busy period. We're going to need more staff. So right now we are hiring more staff. Once we finish hiring them, once we have enough staff for the holiday season, we will stop hiring, right? So it's a temporary situation right now. Right now we are hiring more staff, but then once we have enough staff, we will stop. We are staying in a hotel just during the renovation. So we don't live in a hotel, right? We don't stay in a hotel permanently, but right now during the renovation of our home, which means to, remodel it, make it better, make it, more new. Right now we are staying in a hotel just during the renovation. So again, a temporary situation, a short-term situation, and we want to communicate to someone that it's temporary. So therefore we use the present continuous with the are staying. So for near future plans, we can also use the present continuous to talk about things that are coming up in the future soon, okay? It's the most common way that native speakers will actually talk about things that are happening in the near future to use the present continuous, okay? So for example, I'm visiting my parents this weekend, right? This weekend is in the near future. It's coming up soon. So I say, I'm visiting my parents this weekend. My son is coming home next week. Okay, again, it's in the near future. It's coming up soon. So we just use the present continuous. We say, my son is coming home next week. We are going to Fuego for lunch today. Okay, we're not going right this minute, okay, but we are going at some point today. So we're telling you, hey, this is what we're doing today if you want to join us, if you want to change your plans or something like that. Okay, so for changing situations, I'm using a MacBook now, but next week I'm buying a ThinkPad. So remember in the example before, we said I use a MacBook Pro, right? When we say that with the present simple, we're saying it's not likely to change. It's a permanent situation. But now we're talking about a changing situation, one that's not permanent. So I am using a MacBook now, but next week I'm buying a ThinkPad. So now using the MacBook is not permanent. Okay, now it's a changing situation. So we're going to use the present continuous. I'm living in Bali now, but soon I'll be moving to Bangkok. So if you compare this to the example with London before, where it's, hey, I live in London, this is permanent, it's not going to change. Now we say I'm living in Bali now, but soon I will be moving to Bangkok. So this is a temporary situation now. It's a changing situation. We're working on some fun projects at the moment. So it's at the moment we're working on these projects, but it won't be forever, right? I'm particularly excited about it right now because right now we're doing it, but it will be changing, at some point. We won't always be working on fun projects, but we are doing it now. Okay, so now another use of the present continuous is to show annoyance or criticism. So for example, he's always coming in late to meetings and I'm so sick of it. This is a bit of a tricky one because remember I told you the rules for the present simple is that anytime someone does something over and over and over, like it's a routine or a habit, we use the present simple. So for this, it would be he always comes late to meetings, right? And that's true for the present simple when we're talking about routines and things like that, except for when someone does something that is annoying, right? So if something is annoying or we really don't like it and we're trying to show you that when we communicate it, we use the present continuous. So instead of he always comes, we say he's always coming in late to meetings and I'm so sick of it, right? So you just have to be able to tell from the context that the person is talking about something that's annoying, and that's why they're using the present continuous in this situation. So another example, She's always asking me to clean up after her. She's always asking me this, right? And that's how you're going to hear people say it, is in this annoyed, like, she's always asking me this. So again, it kind of breaks the rule of the present simple, but it's to show this extra annoyance, right? That this really bothers us. Why are they always changing the menu? Right? You'll hear people say this when you listen to native speakers, right? Why are they always changing the menu? Okay. If they always do it, then it's a routine, right? It's a habit for them, but we are just trying to show our annoyance by it. So that's why we use the present continuous in this situation. Okay, so just to look at a few common time expressions that we'll use in the present simple and present continuous, we have the words always, right? So this one's very common in the present simple, right? Because we have to show that it's that over and over and over, always, right? Then we have currently, which is like at this time, these days, or right now, kind of the same thing, right? So at the moment means right now. So again, that would be present continuous because something would be in progress at this moment. Then we have the very common right now. So right now, right this moment, that's mostly going to be obviously the present continuous, something that's happening right now. And then we have every, right? So it could be like every 2 weeks, every month, right? So that one's going to be with the present simple, right? I do this every day. I do this every month. So whenever you hear that time expression, you're going to know, oh, it's present simple because something can't be in progress every month or every Thursday, right? So when you hear that, it should be a clue. We're talking about the present simple. Sometimes should also be a clue for the present simple because it's not every time, but it is still sometimes, which means that it happens over and over and over. Okay. So if it's repeated, then we know that it's the present simple. And then again, we have now, today, this week, this semester, this month, this year, these days. All of these are kind of setting a time period that's in progress, right? So something that's probably temporary. So these days I'm using a MacBook because my PC broke. Or these days I'm using an Android because I got tired of my iPhone, right? So something just temporary. We're not communicating that it's permanent or super long term. Now, if we just take a look at a kind of high level summary here of everything that we've talked about. So with the present simple, I work at a bank. That's permanent. That's not going to change. It's just the way that it is. I work at a bank. Present continuous, I am working on a project for a bank. Okay, so that's temporary. Once the project is over, I won't be working for that bank anymore. Right now, I'm working on a project for a bank, but it's not permanent. She speaks Spanish. Okay, that's permanent. You don't really forget to speak Spanish, right? You don't really lose that ability if you're really fluent, right? You don't just, sleep too long and then you forget fluency. So she speaks Spanish. That's a permanent thing, right? That's not going to change. Versus she is speaking Spanish right now because she needs to practice, all right? She is speaking it right now at this moment because she needs to practice. We try new restaurants frequently. That's something that we do over and over. It's a routine. We frequently try new restaurants versus we are trying a new restaurant this weekend. That's a temporary thing just for this weekend. It's like a one-time deal. We are trying a new restaurant this weekend. All right. The movie starts at 7 p.m. That's a statement of fact. That's the time that it starts. But the movie is starting soon, right? It is starting soon. So we better go. We better get inside. It rains a lot here. Again, that's a statement of fact, kind of like a routine. It happens all the time, over and over and over, versus it's raining outside now, okay? You need an umbrella right now because it's raining outside. All right, I hope all that's clear and you can easily see the difference between the two. Okay, let's do a little bit of practice. So choose the correct verb tense for the following sentences. Number 1, my son comes or my son is coming home every summer. Number 2, the store opens or the store is opening at 9 a.m. every weekday. Number 3, he struggles or he is struggling with his health at the moment. Number 4, our daughter does or our daughter is doing karate on Monday evenings. Number 5, she can't talk right now because she cooks or because she is cooking. So again, ask yourself, is this something happening right now at this moment? Is it in progress? Or is this something that happens over and over and over? Or is it a permanent situation? So go ahead and pause the video. Take as much time as you need to answer each of these questions, and then unpause the video when you're finished, and I will give you the answers. Okay, I hope that you have paused me and now unpaused me to get the answers. So, number 1, my son comes home every summer. Again, that every word is a clue, right? It's a keyword. Every summer, he always does this. So then it's present simple, right? It's not just this summer, right? So it's my son comes home every summer, present simple. The store opens at 9 a.m. every weekday because it's every weekday. Again, have that clue, the word every, that key word, so we know it's the store opens at 9 a.m. every day. Number 3, he is struggling with his health at the moment. At the moment means it's right now, it's temporary. So that means he is struggling, okay? It's not permanent, we hope. Our daughter does karate on Monday evenings, okay? Because Monday evenings, it's plural. It's not just this Monday, it's multiple Mondays, right? That means it's repeated, it's a routine, okay? So that means it's our daughter does karate on Monday evenings, okay? Number 5, she can't talk right now, keyword right now, because she is cooking, okay? So if someone calls you, you can't answer right now because you are watching this video. So she is cooking at this moment. That's why she can't talk, okay? So hopefully you did pretty well on those. If anything's not clear, just go back and review, and then hopefully it makes sense before you get to the guided practice. All right, that's it. You've reached the end of the lesson. Congratulations. Like I said, go back and review anything that you didn't understand. That's the beauty of the video lessons. You can go back, rewind, rewatch, do everything that you need to do. And just remember, pay attention to those keywords. Pay attention to those clues that tell you the time. Is this permanent? Is this short-term, temporary? And then go start that guided practice and everything will start to make even more sense to you. Take care. See you in the next lesson.